Story number 1. Dealing with scam calls, please call the cops on me. So this happened a year or two ago, on my home phone number. I think it is a wholesome and appropriate story to share, not your typical IDWHL, I hope you enjoy it anyways. Like most of us with a landline, cheaper than TV/internet in my Northeast US region, don't judge, I was getting a ton of spam calls. All about my car warranty, which I never had/purchased, my wife's student loans, who never went to college, IRS collections, energy sales, etc., you name it they called. Well, we decided to start picking up and harassing the scammers. Big mistake. They don't take you off their call lists, instead they start to spoof your number so that your number shows on caller ID for everyone they call. It got so bad that we changed our VM from "Hi, you've reached the OP's last name, please leave a message," to "If you received a call from us and don't recognize our number, it is a scam. Please report this to local police," as we have reported it to our police and nothing has changed. Scammers are taking us all, and nothing will change if we ignore the calls. Yes, it was that bad. We were receiving 10+ voicemails per day, most threatening, "Stop Fing calling, go FA, insert racial slur animal here, I'm calling the police," etc. We turned off our ringer, disconnected our phones so only our fax machine/printer picked up and hoped for the best to no avail, thus I started the IDWHL approach. I had a few calls that I picked up during this time frame, and the IDWHL calls were surprisingly wholesome. A typical call transcript, paraphrased, of course, is below. Phone rings. Me, hello. Caller, stop Fing calling me. Me, hey, I know this isn't what you expect, but I think you have been had by scam calls. They are spoofing my number to call you, and I've reported it to my local police. I made the mistake of answering and trying to give them a hard time, so now they spoof my number to call others and punish me. You can Google it and verify my story, just don't answer their calls no matter what you do. Please also call your local police and report my number and the calls so we can get these calls to stop. My name is OP's first name, and I live in town, state. I am just as sick of these calls as you are. Please report my number to your police. Maybe then there will be some legislature or pressure on the phone companies to stop this nonsense. Caller, oh, hey, sorry, I just get so many of these calls and I'm frustrated beyond belief. Sorry to bother you. Except for Karen's, but the rest of the conversation on my part remained the same. Me, seriously, report my number to the police and block it, we have no prior business, and let your phone company know as well. I am with phone provider, and the only way they will make changes is if we all complain enough so they have to deal with it. I am happy to speak with local police about the issue, and just for the record I do not want any information from you. Let's deal with this shit guerrilla style. Conversations from that point typically ended with apologies and mutual understanding, or promises to call the police and report my number, to which I always reiterated, "Please do, this is how we make the world a better place," or some similar sentiment. Maybe not the most extreme IDWHL, but I hope you enjoyed the read. I am happy to answer questions, and will provide any insight or clarification requested. Edit. Let me address some of the common questions or comments that I've received. 1. This is my landline, and changing the number only shuffles my spam calls to someone else, and someone else's spam to me. The phone company puts a shiny, complaint resolved sticker on their books, and nothing actually changes. Also, have you ever changed your phone number? How many people have your current number? It's a royal pain and not worth my effort. I'd rather spend the same amount of time talking to other victims of this crap, and maybe they will talk to others. Eventually something might change because the people took action. 2. Why didn't I report it to the phone company? I did, and they basically told me, we get this complaint a lot, there isn't anything we can do about it aside from changing your number. See point 1 for why I'm not doing that. We were also getting a lot of hateful voicemails, even with my updated answering machine message, so I thought the police should be involved since it could be considered harassment. 3. Spam filtering is enabled through the phone company, and as a landline my phone isn't running Android or iOS, so the smartphone tricks don't work. I definitely think these are great tools. Unfortunately, blocking all numbers not in your contacts can have adverse effects. The doctor's office calling to verify your appointment using a secondary line at their office, automated calls from your work/school regarding inclement weather closings, family or friends calling from an unfamiliar number, and so on. 4. For anyone with a landline experiencing this same thing, unplugging your answering machine and setting a fax machine. Most multifunction printers nowadays have fax machines built in. To pick up on the second ring seems to stop the calls. I did this for 3 months, and when I plugged my answering machine back in, my inbound call volume was way down, from 10 to 30 calls per day to maybe 1 to 2. Story number 2. But you just looked in charge. No Touchy, Kevin at a Wholesale Club. Long-time lurker, thought it was my turn to contribute. This was on a Saturday, spring of 2019, northern Utah. I was out shopping with my family errands. I realized I forgot diapers, which are located by the registers. I hurried to grab them because we were up next in line. As I was speed walking past the registers, I stopped for what I intended was a brief moment to find my husband. There is a trend amongst wholesale dads and their fashion choices. But that is a whole other story. Wholesale Club employees, regardless if in management or work in customer service, all wear the same blue vest. I had a bright pink shirt on, no vest in sight. I was just about to take off in his direction when insert Kevin. "Hey miss, I am talking to you." He proceeded to grab my arm. I was pretty stunned and taken aback, could not believe his audacity, responded, "I'm sorry." "Yeah. You better be. We need to find item XXYYY and I need you to help me find it now. Also, these lines are ridiculous. Don't you guys have better staffing for the busiest day of the week?" He was practically spitting in my face. I had the utmost pleasure of smiling my best eat shit grin, removed myself from his grip, looked him directly in his now paling face and replying, "As you can hopefully see, I don't work here. So I am not going to be of much help. You touch me again, that man over there," gesturing to my 6 feet 3 inches husband, who at this point had turned around to see what my delay was, "will not be very happy with you." He started stammering, "I'm sorry, I'm just so frustrated and no one wants to help me and you just looked like you were in charge." I turned to the closest associate and said, "Excuse me, this man needs some help. Please and thank you." I felt bad about turning him loose on her, but at this point he had gone from angry bully to a humbled, quieted version of the man I had dealt with prior. Kevin turned to the associate, murmured on his apologies, smiled the same "go F yourself" grin, and said, "Have a better day." Had he not been so mean and physical, I probably would have tried to help him. But man, I feel for people in retail. No touchy. Number 3. I honestly don't know what you want from me. My first post here. I rarely get mistaken for an employee. The way I dress and the company I'm in make that pretty much impossible. But in the wonderful October of 2019, I encountered a Karen at a Staten Island Home Depot. On that day I, 22 NB, decided to pick up a few art supplies and some paint and whatnot. As you do. My hubby, 41M, decided to tag along because he had nothing better to do. So, as I dragged hubby through the store, I noticed an older lady staring at us from a distance. I didn't think anything of it. We're very noticeable when out together. On that day I was clad in dark purple leggings and a beautiful silver tunic. My hair wild and loose. Every bit the little witch that I am. As I'm rather short, I probably looked like a fairy or something. My husband, on the other hand, was still in his suit from work. He is very tall, built like a brick wall, and has a permanent RBF, amplified by the gray streaking his hair. So, we are quite the sight. Well, as our cart gets filled to the brim, I notice the old lady approaching me. OL, sneering, where are the planters? Me, I have no idea, I don't work here. OL, yes you do. I saw you helping that man over there, gestures vaguely to hubby. Me, that's my husband and I still don't work here. OL, insert homophobic slur, you should concentrate on your work instead of flirting with customers. You lying, slur. She stormed off after that, and I assumed that we would have our quiet and peace for the rest of our shopping trip. Oh, was I wrong? While hubby and I got the last of our stuff and moved towards the register, Karen had apparently found the manager on duty, who looked like he really didn't want to be there. OL, loud enough for the entire area to hear, the little, homophobic slur, refused to help me. He should be fired for flirting with customers. Rant, rant, rant. We just checked out and got the hell out of there. I know, it's not as crazy as most other stories on here, but I remembered it last week and thought I'd share. Please ask if something is unclear. Story number 4. I just don't know anything about kitchen remodeling. This happened at the beginning of this year. I'm at a home improvement store and waiting for assistance in kitchen appliances. Everyone's busy with other customers. I'm patiently standing around and just kinda tinkering with stuff nearby. Karen walks up and asks, "Do you know what kind of countertop this is?" Me, no. Karen, well, do you know where I can find this specific kind of tile? Me, no. Karen, snidely, well goodness, do you even know what kind of weather we're having outside today? Me, sarcastically, no idea. Karen, well, you just don't know anything, do you? You should be fired. What's your name? Me, I don't work here. I'm just waiting for assistance. Karen stutters and then says, well, it's a good thing you don't, you have a bad attitude, and struts away like a peacock. I didn't have a vest on, and definitely don't think I looked like I knew what I was doing, so I have no idea why she assumed I was an employee.